from across the full public transport family that are here with us today, and particularly our own team here in Cork, led by Ray Foley, the station manager. It's great to have everybody here today. So I'm delighted so many of you could join us to mark the opening of the new Platform 6 here at Kent. It's a crucial milestone in the delivery of a series of projects that will quite simply put our network at the centre of a hugely expanded and sustainable transport for the people of Cork, and indeed for the generations to come. This is all about building for the future. We'll be hearing from a number of speakers prior to formally unveiling the plaque and declaring the platform open. But I do want to take the opportunity to thank the team for the successful completion of this, as well as our partners on the project, AECOM and John Craddock. Its completion, together with the Middleton Twin Tracking and the Signalling and Communications project, both set for completion and still on target, on budget for completion next year, will give us that future-proof network capable of trains every 10 minutes to all 3 locations here in Cork, for the Cork commuter area, Mallow, Cove, Middleton into Cork, trains every 10 minutes. But to start, I suppose, our formal ceremonies, could I please ask you to welcome the First Citizen of Cork, Lord Mayor Dan Boyle, to address you. Dan.
Tishuk, Commissioner, Vera County Corky, Ara Empor, Ara State, Dr. Dawla, Corlori, Chief Executive Irish Rail, members of Irish Rail and Carta Galair. This is a very significant day. Railways came to Cork 175 years ago, but it was an incremental process. It would be a further 5 years before the tunnel from Blackpool brought it to a city centre riverside location. This station itself wouldn't have opened until 1893. But at the same time, there was parallel development of a number of suburban lines, a Cork Yawl line, a Cork Passage West line, which left on the south side of the river. And in the early part of the 20th century, there was, in 2011, 2012, there was lines that connected the lines on the north side of the river to the south side of the river. At one stage, Ireland as a country was the most heavily railway networked country in the world. Now, policy decisions and resources changed that over the course of the 20th century, and many of the decisions that saw the closure of lines, I think, can be seen to be regrettable. But there has been a reversal of that policy over the last quarter of a century. The reopening of the line to Middleton, the reinvestment in services and frequency. And in terms of any successful public transport system, it's the investment to create the frequency, to create the reliability, to inspire public confidence. And the opening of a new platform here in Kent Station is part of that exercise. It means that we are putting further faith in public transport as a preeminent way for us to travel around our city and to act as the means of development for the 250,000 people who will be soon living in the city area and the 500,000 people living in the greater Cork area, to make sure that the train and public transport in general is the preferred and chosen option for people to get around our city. I'd like to thank those who've been involved in bringing the project this far, including government investment and the planning that has been done by Irish Rail itself. This will be a facility that will more than justify itself, and this will be a piece of infrastructure that the people of Cork will value and make maximum use of. Thank you for helping bringing it about. It is up to us now to make sure that we justify its being here. Here Margaret.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Well said. I think your points are relevant in that this is just a piece of a puzzle for public transport in Cork. And as we know, this is not the only public transport reaching a milestone today, with the Cork Light Rail public consultation commencing. And I want to welcome representatives from a range of agencies, including the Acting Chief Executive of the NTA, Hugh Cregan, is with us today. Garrett Ducey from the Department of Transport is here today. Jim Dean from DEEPR is here. And I mention all those because it's a multi-agency approach to deliver projects like this, and it's all the arms of the state working well together, and that's important. Also here with us, actually, I think it's Peter Walsh from TII, so I'm coming in there earlier, and then our own colleagues from the other day on the bus here who have joined us today, because it is about, I suppose, the public transport family. And when I mention the public transport family, I suppose it's a source of great pride among the public transport family here in Cork. that our Tishuk is from good public transport stock, as we would say. His dad being a CI man, and been strongly associated with bus here in Cork for many, many years. So on that note, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Tishuk Micheál Martin to speak.
Ard Vera, agus Commissioner McGrath, agus Ara O'Brien, agus Ara Buttermore, Mayor an Chunte, Joe Carroll, agus Corlore, agus Gwyn Úsha Glairs, Privded an Vor Dumsa, Ve Elar an Sean of Con Chunske Shaw Kerfil on Choil, go Hifigul, agus is Honor Anavor Dumsa, Ve Elar, Con Ahantis, a Hort, Chunskan of Marshall, a Churig Gomor le Dulchan Keen, the Catroch. Agus sé gceist leis an tugra seo ná an chéad chuid de chlár háptach a chuirigh feabhas saol le huail na níní seo a gcuirciig agus mar rialtas tá luachmhair an dán oring go bhfuil tionscanna bhain aigir mar seo chuirithe I gcríoch. I'm sure, like most of you, we had a late night or got to bed in the early morning after what was a wonderful national and indeed global occasion. We congratulate Rory McIlroy on winning the Grand Slam and the Masters in Augusta last evening. And when I came into the station, this station has an emotional resonance for most Cork people, and for me, I am no exception. And I always got a kind of a tingle up the spine when I come into the station. I suppose as a young child, and I'm not starting anything here, by the way, my earliest memories were a train to Youghal, which was packed with Turner's Cross, Bellyfihan, and outside 5-6 kids and the carriages with the egg and tomato sandwiches well packed, and on the way for a wonderful day in Youghal. That was our earliest memories, and please, the parents roaring at you not to be looking out the window and get your head back in. But of course, later in life and as a child, this is always associated with the trips to Crow Park, and the Lane McCarthy and the Sam Maguire coming back into Kent Station, and those were the magical moments. And so it's wonderful to see the transformation of this station into a really modern piece of transport infrastructure. And it reflects the fact that Cork City and County and Hinterland is now a central part of the National Development Planning Framework in terms of a growing population. It's estimated that Cork will be the fastest growing city in Ireland, 50%, meaning by 2040, Cork will be home to 320,000 and indeed more very, very fortunate people. And it will be a thriving hub to support those living, working and doing business across the entire southern region. And we have very significant ambitions for Cork into the future, particularly on the infrastructure side. Last week we approved and gave the green light, the Minister O'Brien did, to the Cork Ringaskiddy road, a long time in gestation. That will have a significant impact on journey time and also in terms of supply chains getting from port to around the country. And a modern city and hinterland needs a modern public transport system. And the investment in the Cork Commuter Rail programme, the largest ever investment in the Cork Rail network, will transform the experience of our city in the coming years. And the opening of this platform today will save the people significant inconvenience, changing trains and so on, from Mallow, Middleton or Cove. This is just the beginning. Many more improvements are planned. We're looking at a trebling of capacity here, and also we're looking to 10-minute journey times. And I want to pay tribute to Éireann Road Éireann, in particular to Mead and to AJ for bringing this project on time and within budget. And this project is an example of infrastructure projects that can be delivered effectively and in a timely manner. And I want to pay tribute to all involved. A lot of the funding came from the Recovery and Resilience Fund from the European Union as part of the COVID response, and Minister Eamon Ryan at the time put forward this as a shovel-ready project that could get done if the funding was secured with government funding. Minister Michael McGrath, our Commissioner now, but then Minister Michael McGrath was public expenditure in terms of the approval. I just happened to be Tishuk at the time, and it was great to get it done with the government. But the important thing is it got done, and I really want to pay tribute to Jim, the board of Éireann Road Éireann, for their application to this project, because it is an example of what can be done elsewhere. And if you think about it, the other project I identify in Cork that was similar was the airport runway during COVID-19, which got done in very quick time. And I say that because we face many challenges in infrastructure. These projects demonstrate what is possible. And I think it gives us confidence in Éireann Road Éireann in particular, in terms of the future and in terms of the remainder of this plan to bring it to completion and to enable and to ensure that we give Éireann Road Éireann the resources to do this. And later this morning I will be launching the public consultation process for the Cork Lewis, which will give the people of Cork an opportunity to engage with what will be a transformative new addition to the city also. And alongside those improvements in rail, we will be working to progress Bus Connects Cork later this year, again meaning safer, sustainable journeys by bus and bike across the city. And we're going to continue to invest in infrastructure to meet travel needs now and well into the future. And that's key, I think, in terms of connectivity for people who work, who live in the Cork region, and also looking for a more cleaner, healthier and better and more sustainable environment overall. We're making the right choices here in terms of the public transport network. This is historic in terms of the scale of the investment and also the plans that we have for the future. Again, I want to thank every person involved in bringing this project to fruition. I was here getting an early preview about a month ago, and I was certainly blown away by the degree to which this location has been transformed. And when you connected in with the Luce project eventually, it will be really an integrated network across the entire region that will make a profound difference in terms of participation in public transport and breathe new life into this historic location at the heart of Cork City. Go to Mila Mahogdив Galer, agus Gunai Roy Contalig.
Thank you, Tishuk. A couple of things to pick up there from the Tishuk's comments. It's interesting how people use trains and how people use trains to travel, and you mentioned the sporting achievements. But of course, the real sporting fans last year went from Clare to collect Liam McCarthy. You know? So as a Clareman, I always take the opportunity when I'm in Cork to remind you all that Liam McCarthy's in Clare at the moment. He doesn't get there that often, so we have to admit it while we can. But thank you, Tishuk. I think it's important also to note that we are seeing record. Last year was a record number for us again. 2019 had been our previous record number, but last year was a record number again. And quite extraordinary growth in demand over the past 3 years, particularly on the Cork commuter network. And it's amazing to think that 5 years ago we were in the depths of COVID. Lockdowns were in place. The only people that were travelling on public transport service were essential workers who needed to travel. And many thought that public transport would really struggle and would not recover for a generation. However, the European Union had the foresight to support public transport within the EU Recovery and Resilience Facility that Tishuk just mentioned. And that funding impetus is why we have 3 projects underway here in Cork today, and together with funding from the National Transport Authority. So we thank the European Commission, and we're delighted to welcome the EU Commissioner for Democracy, Justice and the Rule of Law and Consumer Protection, Michael McGrath, to address you now.
Thank you very much, Jim, and thank you for that jive about the hurling as well. We look forward to doing battle on Sunday next, and a repeat of the league performance up there would be well received. It was great to be here with the Lord Mayor, with the Tishuk, with Minister Darragh O'Brien, Minister Jerry Buttimer, the County Mayor. We have a number of deputies and councillors here as well. I see Conor Healy from Cork Chamber here. And we have the CEOs of Cork City Council, Cork County Council, and many stakeholders who played an important role in getting us to this very significant milestone today. I do want to, in particular, congratulate Jim Mead and also AJ Cronin and the whole team for all of their work. I do think the setting up of the Cork Delivery Office of Éireann Road Éireann back in 2021 was a real turning point. I have to say AJ did a phenomenal job, kept all of the public reps fully informed of the various stages of development, and also kept us on our toes to make sure that the project kept moving forward. And an operational train station is in full flow. But AJ, thank you for all of your work in that delivery office. You did a phenomenal job over the last number of years. Also to acknowledge, of course, the full support of the NTA, the acting CEO, Hugh Cregan, and all of the team there have been hugely supportive from the very beginning. And it's great to be here as EU Commissioner because, as the Tishuk said, I was the Minister for Public Expenditure when this plan was in gestation. It was lovely to meet Jim Dean from DEPR, the Department of Public Expenditure, who worked closely with me at the time to bring the plan to government, get it into the EU and get approval. And Jim is here today to see this phase of the project being officially opened. And as the Tishuk has said, this is really phase one of what is going to be an integrated public transport plan here in Cork. And we will see next year the twin track between Clownthon and Middleton, and the signalling and communications upgrade to the local network as well. The EU has played an important part in this project with overall funding of about 164 million towards this and the future phases of the Cork commuter rail programme under the Recovery and Resilience Facility. And that will give a real kickstart to the Cork metropolitan area transport strategy, and it's part of an overall EU plan to support sustainable transport throughout the European Union. In time, when this full plan comes to fruition in Cork, we'll have up to 8 new stations, a new fleet maintenance depot, the electrification of the network, and the upgrades to 9 existing commuter stations. So it is a highly ambitious multi-annual plan, and I know that with the team here driving it forward, it will come to conclusion over the period ahead. At an EU level, we will bring forward as a Commission a sustainable transport investment plan later this year, which will put a new focus on decarbonisation solutions within the transport sector, including the EU rail network. And we also will be proposing a single digital booking and ticketing regulation, which will help European consumers to make more informed choices about their journey options and benefit from lower prices. And the real value in events like this today is that it makes life easier for the general public. It is a public service as people go about their day-to-day business, whether it be work or leisure, allowing people to crisscross through the city, join family members and friends, or attend events in other communities throughout Cork. So it's a fantastic day. Congratulations to all involved, and the very best of luck in the remaining phases of the Cork Commuter Rail project. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, and we certainly look forward to those funding packages that will come from the EU, and we'll be knocking on your and other commissioners' door to see that we can get our fair share, or maybe even a bit more than our fair share. We're never shy about asking for a bit more to get the right things done and to do further things. One of the reasons that I believe the development of public transport is progressing so strongly in the Cork area is the support from community and from local authorities and from business and tourist interests. So I'd like to acknowledge in attendance we have here today Chief Executive of Cork City Council and Cork County Council, Valerie O'Sullivan and Myra Murrell, respectively, Conor Healy, Chief Executive of Cork Chamber, and many representatives of Cork businesses, tourist interests and the broader community have joined us. And I think it's important that they're mentioned. Why? Because we've always had that unity of purpose about trying to deliver these projects. We've had cross-party support, city and county, chamber of commerce, everybody sees the benefit and sees the vision that can be delivered by improving the public transport offering across the board. So it's really important that they've all joined with us. So I'm also particularly pleased to welcome our final speaker, not just because he's my line minister, but we will open the platform here with him. It's his first official engagement. We're here there as our new Minister for Transport. But Minister, I'm delighted to say that with the many projects and investments that are coming our way, we will have many days like this over the years ahead, because we're very much in the delivery phase of several projects. So can I introduce to you our Minister, Darragh O'Brien.
Jim, Tishuk, Commissioner McGrath, Ard Mera, Clara Corky, Mera, Kunte Corky, the Queen Lush, the Glare, Gurmil Magagas and Curracun, Vet on Shut in you, Kunin Skame Untuk Shut, Oskul, Ifigul, Dus Walum and Wheeler Weekus of Gawalda, Gokdin, Glock Part, Sachunskadal Shut, Tishuk, Gurmil Magas, Martina on La Clea as Dukyad, Hurto, on Shoei Corky in you. So thank you, Tishuk, for giving me the permission to be here in Cork today, because as the last speaker is not lost to me, I'm the only dub speaking. That's fair enough. But look, it's great. You going to speak? No, that's okay. That's okay. But look, this is a wonderful.
The reason is you have more announcements to make here.
That is very true, Tishuk. We have a very busy day ahead, and we intend that to be the case. Jim, to yourself and AJ and the team as well, congratulations, and everyone who's been involved, from the contractors, ACOM, John Craddock as well, but everyone who has been involved in this project. It's wonderful to see. I had the pleasure in my previous portfolio engaging quite extensively as well with Iarnród Éireann. A great scheme in Galway, in Kent Station in Galway. We have a new planning application in for the new station in Moyross, new station being built in Waterford, Dart Plus Coastal North, and Dart Plus in the Dublin region as well. There's a little bit left for the capital too, but there's major investment right the way across. I'm sorry, Minister Buttimer, I didn't recognise your attendance here. I was talking to Jerry earlier on as well. Just to say, look, there's major investment in our rail network, and rightly so. And people, the general public, are responding to our public transport offering. We saw record public transport use across all modes of transport last year. And this government, with the Tishuk's leadership, is really driving us further to this delivery phase. And if it's the one thing that every single day that at Cabinet, that we're reminded as government ministers, is to ensure that this 5 years of the remainder of this decade is that we're delivering across all the areas of our responsibility. And for many reasons, for quality of life reasons, for climate reasons as well, it is critically important that we continue to invest and expand our rail network and our public transport network. The Tishuk's already mentioned in Cork today. We'll have a very significant announcement shortly in relation to the preferred route, the public consultation in relation to light rail here in Cork. Bus Connects is advancing well, and we want to see that really delivered here in spades in Cork. But the potential that this has here with the expansion, the new platform here, the new signalling, the double tracking, to ensure that people have real options. People want to use public transport, they want to use our trains, and we've got to provide the infrastructure to allow them to do that. So I'm very excited about the year ahead. I do want to thank in particular Commissioner McGrath, not only for the between 165 million to 185 million that the EU provided for this scheme here, but for his significant announcement here today in relation to future EU funding around the sustainable transport investment at an EU level, particularly in rail. And you can be assured, Commissioner McGrath, that we will be knocking your door down to ensure, as Jim said, that we get more than our fair share here in Ireland. Just in relation to Jim Mead, I've had the pleasure of knowing Jim for a long number of years, and he has really given fantastic leadership in Iarnród Éireann here, Jim. And I know you're not too far off moving to the next phase of your career, but outside Iarnród Éireann, you will be sorely missed. You'll be sorely missed here, and I want to thank you as your minister for everything you've done, for the commitment you've gone above and beyond, as the Tishuk have said. Iarnród Éireann should be incredibly proud of the work on this particular project, but all the work you're doing right the way across the country. So I really want to commend you for everything that you've done. Here, here. And I know you'll leave very big shoes to fill, but with AJ Cronin and Barry Kenny and the whole management team here in Iarnród Éireann, you're leaving with a management team that is very focused on delivery. Just the station manager here, Ray Foley, as well. Congratulations to you and your team here. The Tishuk and Jim have mentioned earlier on, like the genesis of the delivery of this project through COVID as well, and all of our frontline workers, our public transport workers in particular, saw us through a very, very difficult time there. Now we're seeing, who would have thought 4 or 5 years ago that we would be here on a day like this, where we're now with these 3 projects here, specifically in Cork, an investment of about 300 million in total, where we're going to be moving towards a 10-minute service as well into the future from 30 minutes, providing additional services for our people, and that's what we're all about. So again, thank you so much for the invitation to be with you here today. Thank you, Tishuk, for your leadership, and thank you, Commissioner McGrath, as well, for being here and for your support for this and for future rail projects right the way across this country.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you for your kind words. Indeed, it's a team effort, Minister. I mean, I will acknowledge the team at the Department of Transport that you lead have been very helpful, the NTA and others, as mentioned earlier. So I suppose all that remains for me to do actually is to invite our speakers back up to join me, and our station manager Ray, and we can open the first completed project of the Cork Area Commuter, the new Platform 6 here in Cork. Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.